Hi guys, and welcome to the first ace tanker in the Turan III Prototype. I'm probably the only ace tanker I'm ever going to get in this tank for reasons I will explain in a review that's going to be coming up in the next week or two. This was a tier 5 German medium tank. It was a premium tank that was made available last month for a brief period. I'm sure it's going to be in the gift shops again soon. I just didn't have time to play the tank and review it in time while it was in the gift shop, but I was planning another video today, not an ace tanker. I thought it would take me about 2 hours to do, and it ended up taking nearly 9 hours to finish, so as a result, I'm exhausted. It is 3 a.m. and the video is still not finished because I've got to edit it together. I wasn't planning to put any ace tankers up on the channel for the next few days because I've got other videos planned, but yeah, I just want to do a quick emergency video and then go to bed. It's very, very early in the morning as a result of today's monster recording session. Anyway, yeah, this tank, I dislike this tank immensely, and I will explain why when it's time to do the review for it, as I say, hopefully in the next week or two, but I don't see myself playing it anymore now that I've got the ace and once the review is done. But this is a Hungarian tank, and it kind of, I'm going to explain a lot more about this tank during the review, but it kind of makes me think that pretty soon, sooner rather than later, there's going to be a Hungarian tank line added to the Germans' tech tree eventually in World of Tanks, because this is the Turan III, but you'll notice it has PT, or it's the prototype, because this tank only existed as a wooden mock-up, and even as a wooden mock-up, this tank that we got in-game doesn't match the specifications of the tank that it was supposed to be. So, for example, this tank in real life was supposed to have 75mm of frontal armor, but it doesn't. It only has 50mm, and it was supposed to have spaced armor across the sides and tracks, and in-game it doesn't. So the fact they're calling it a prototype here and not the Turan III is, yeah, I kind of suspect that eventually we're going to get a Hungarian tank line, and as a result we're going to get the Turan III with the spaced armor and the correct frontal armor on the tank, and this is going to be the this is going to be the premium tank, which is not quite as good as the in-game version, because if this tank had 75mm of frontal armor on the hull and it had spaced armor, then maybe I'd recommend it more. But as a result, I just hate this tank. I really do, especially when there are so many other tier 5 premium tanks that are better than it. Not just German tanks, but just for the Germans. There's absolutely no reason to be driving this unless you're Hungarian and have some national pride. Just play the T25. It's so much better. Even though on paper the gun handling isn't quite as good on the T25, it's faster, it's more mobile, and really it's a joy to play compared to this, because this, even though it's a little bit lighter than it should have been because it's got less armor than it should have had, it's just slow, it's sluggish, it's big, it's tall. You've got this huge area over the gun. You can see how big, your gun is here, which means when you're aiming down the sights, you're exposing a huge amount of your turret above your gun. So when you think you're hull down, enemy tanks can easily shoot you. So even though it's got 10 degrees of gun depression, the gun depression is cancelled out by how big the turret is above the gun. And while it's fast and mobile, it's definitely, or well, it's not fast and mobile, it's just very mediocre regarding its mobility, and its gun on paper is very, very good. It's got decent aim time, it's got decent penetration, it's got decent damage, what you'd expect from a tier 5, but the gun and its handling, although on paper are quite good, is cancelled out by the fact it gets almost no ammo. 32 rounds of ammo. It's ridiculous for this tank, because it means that, this tank doesn't get special matchmaking. I mean, you get this tank into a tier 6 game, a tier 7 game, you simply don't have enough ammo to kill enemy tanks if you've got to do a lot of damage. Even in a tier 5 game like this game, you're going to see me having ammo problems. So we're going to go, as I say, this is just an emergency video. It's a quick video. It wasn't a very, very long game, and as a result I just want to get something up on the channel. But yep, I seem to be attracting some interest. And you don't see very many Turan IIIs being driven around, and that's probably because not many people bought them, or if they did, they aren't playing them. Maybe they've played 2 or 3 games in it and have stopped playing it, because really, I mean, if I want to have fun in a German medium at tier 5, I'm going to play the Panzer Panzer IV with the derp gun. It's more mobile, it's got better armor, it's got a better gun that doesn't run out of ammunition, you can damage higher tier tanks. If I want to play a premium tank at tier 5, then I can think of dozens that are better, and I'd rather be playing. This tank is just, it's too big, and it has severe ammo problems. So, yep, there we go, we just fired a shot. Now, it may seem that, you know, old man reaction shot there, but I'm wasting ammo. Every shot I miss and don't do damage with is critical in this tank. So, yeah, waited for the Covenant to poke. And just here on Mines, it's a very, very decent game, standard game. Lots of tanks are trying to push the hill, lots of tanks sitting back. I noticed that the M4 is pre-aimed on my position. I'll wait for him to turn his turret, poke out, get one shot in. And what you can see is snapshotting, aim time. The gun is very, very good. We're able to get 2 shots into the M4 before he responds. But now he's looking at me again, he gets taken out. So a couple of KB1s and a G1R down here. I don't think they're looking at... No, okay, one of them was looking at me. So the tank I was aiming at wasn't aiming at me, but the second KV1 was waiting for me to poke. So, little mistake by me. Lost our ammo rack, had to use a repair kit. And we've got 25 shots left. KV1's not looking my way. And that's another shot that's missed. And it hurts. It really hurts to miss shots on this tank. Oh, I hate when it happens. I mean, it's such a good gun. It's very good at snapshotting. It's got good aim time, decent accuracy. We hit his gun mantlet. Oh, he's aiming at me. We'll risk one more and we pen him above his gun mantlet. So you can see that the accuracy is there, the aim time is there, the gun performance is there. It's just the lack of ammunition. I inwardly groan every time I miss a shot when I'm playing this tank. Oh, KV1's still looking. Look at that snapshot. Nothing to aim at, just poked, put a shot into the roof of the KV1. I have to say I prefer the gun handling on this tank than I do on a tank like the T-25, but for a whole package, I really don't like the tank very much. So 10 degrees of gun depression, and it gets 10 meters more view range than the T-25 does, but the T-25 doesn't have very good view range in the first place, which means the view range of this tank isn't very good, but oh, wow, and there we go, that's that turret. I took the shot at the G1R and moved into cover, but my tank was just so big G1R was able to respond. So now I'm being rushed by a KV1. We've got a brave Matilda Black Prince sniping at the back of the map. I was hoping to take out the G1R, but KV1 comes around, and there we go, we've just bounced on the side of a KV1. So standard ammunition sometimes fails. I've had to switch to premium ammunition. We track the KV1, but again failed to track him, hit his tracks, take him out with another shot. But had to retreat. I'm down to 288 health. Lots of tanks around, but we've got a T-14 and a Stug 3B keeping them busy in the south. I've got to move up and deal with this KV1, KV1S and G1R. So I'm staying on the premium ammo because I tend to bounce on KV1s. My shots get absorbed by KV1 tracks quite a lot. So we poke up, gonna try and track the KV1, get one shot in. Can we finish him off? There we go. And now I am firing premium ammo at tier 5s, but tier 5 heavies, but it's not for want of spam. I mean, you can't really spam any ammo in this tank because you don't have enough ammo. If you've got premium ammo, any premium ammo on this tank, you're gonna end up firing it. So I've switched back to regular ammo, and now we're bouncing on the turret of the Matilda Black Prince. I probably shouldn't be shooting his turret, but I figured we'd be able to get a shot in. We're using bush mechanics to try and stay hidden, take out the Black Prince. So now we've lost our T-14 that was down in the south. It is 3 versus 6 enemy tanks. So 3 versus 6, and our Matilda and Matilda Black Prince still haven't moved from spawn. So I'm trying to get view range for these guys, trying to spot enemy tanks, spot the G1R. So I'm pre-aimed, I'm planning just to poke out and snap, and that's what this tank is good for. Oh no! Someone killed him just as I fired, and as a result I've just wasted another shot. And every time you miss a shot in this flaming tank, it hurts. So we get 2 shots into the Matilda. He managed to hit me as well while reversing, so Now he's blind firing in my direction. Another miss. That went so far to the wide. And now I get shot by a Lee and a T-34. So they're all over here. I'm down to 134. Another miss. No, this hurts so much. I'm down to 5 rounds of ammunition. No, 4 rounds of ammunition. So we go for a blind shot. Just on the chance he's poked. While I was doing that, I was completely tunnel visioned and missed the fact that there was a Lecto right behind me. So a little bit lucky. The guys camping spawn took out the Electo. And now we've just got to spot this Matilda. Keep spotting the Matilda. I know the M3 Lee is on the island. I know there's a Matilda on the island. So I'm down to 2 rounds of ammunition. Not much to shoot at. I'm gonna risk it. And there we go. You see, the gun handling is just fine. But it hurts so much, so much when you've got so little ammo in this tank. So we're up to 6 kills, we've got our top gun, we've done 1700 damage, and you can see that the gun handling is fine. But the problem is we're down to 1 round of ammunition. So this is the main reason I hate this tank. I just don't like the speed and maneuverability, but then again, I mean, it's a tier 5 medium, what am I expecting? It's a premium tank. I mean, of course the regular tier 5s are better, or most of them are better. But it's just that my problem with this tank is it's a premium, and even the tier 5 premium mediums, most of them are better. I'd rather play the Ram 2 than this tank. Even though the gun handling is quite good. So now it's just a matter of advancing. I know where the Matilda is, I know where the M3 Lee is. I'm down to 134 health, so I can take a hit from either of them, maybe 2 hits from the Matilda. I just need to spot. Got 1 shot left, and we bounce it. Of course we bounce it. We bounce our final shot, and now we've got no ammunition, and this is why I hate this tank. Now this is tier 5. I mean, I'm top tier in a tier 5 game. At least I'm getting the assistance damage from this Matilda because I spotted him, but you can imagine how quickly you're going to run out of ammunition when you're shooting tanks with more health. When you're shooting tier 6s, when you're shooting tier 7s, you just ran out of ammunition so quickly, and there's nothing you can do. I mean, I've no ammo, I'm just trying to spot tanks for my team, and that's it. Game is over. So yeah, Turan 3 really didn't impress me very much. So first ace in the tank, we also picked up high caliber and top gun. We finished top on XP with 1203 and did 1740 damage. And as I say, every shot we miss hurts so much. And we fired all 32 rounds. That's all we had in the tank. We managed to hit 25 of them. As I say, I like the gun handling, even though unfortunately we bounced a few, but we missed 7 shots in that game, and even if I hadn't missed 7 shots, I still wouldn't have had enough ammo in the tank if it was a higher tier game. But, you know, as I say, happy with the damage. I received 6 hits and only 1 bounce. So even though this tank, it gets 75mm of turret armor, it doesn't feel like 75mm of turret armor. Everything seems to pen this tank. You very rarely bounce, although we did manage 1 in there. 10 damage, 6 destroyed, and 286 assistance damage again on the front line, shooting most of what I was spotting myself. And, you know, because we had to fire 10 rounds of premium ammunition, which you're going to have to do against tier 5 tier 5 heavies, you're going to have to do it against some tier 6s, you're going to have to do it against some tier 7s, or most tier 7s. You're going to not, you know, it's not a moneymaker. You're not going to make very much, or very many credits in this tank. Mainly through running out of ammunition, dying so quickly, or having to fire through your premium ammunition, whether or not you need to, because, you know, you've just got so little ammunition to begin with in the tank. So not a moneymaker either. I was playing games to do a review, which I pretty much got enough footage for, but it was my first ace while playing games. Wasn't my first game of the day, but yeah, Turan 3, I didn't like this tank very much, guys. I really can't recommend it, but I'll be talking a lot more about that when it comes down to the is it worth it. Hopefully I'm going to have time over the next few days to sit down and actually put the footage together for that review. But other than that, quick emergency video, I've got something completely different planned, either later on or tomorrow for the channel. Another How I Tank video that took me forever to make, but anyhow, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.